Hi, I'm Allie, and today we're taking the red pill.
We do not care.
Now, this red pill analogy is one of the most famously misunderstood things in all of media. We will get into that a little later, but first, let me introduce to you what is on my mind today. I will be talking about the He Just Like Me movies, which has famously become a genre in the past couple of years. These movies often showcase a troubled man. This man is very flawed. He often shows toxic behaviors.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remark.
Like abuse, corruption, illegal activity. A lot of these lead to him becoming a very successful, maybe not lead to it, but they're all a part of this like successful persona. They often show businessmen, people who are successful in finance. You know, not all of them do, but a lot of these are success stories. So they look at these flaws and they think of them more as a direction than a cautionary tale.
What a surprise!
They often miss the point that these are like abusive, crooked, evil people. Personally, I believe this misunderstanding helped foster the whole Sigma male philosophy. By being a Sigma, you're often disregarding others, usually women, in order for you to be a more successful, independent person. It's a very individualist mentality. This disregard that men have as Sigma men often is a thing that leads them to success. They don't care about others. It's a very narcissistic way of living because you're disregarding others in terms of your own success, pleasure, desire, whatever. As harmful as these things can get, as this idea, as this mindset, as this grind set, if you will, can get, this is objectively one of the funniest things that right-wingers do. It's hilarious. It's extremely funny. I will never understand how people miss the point of something so bad and no one does it like them. It's really impressive at this point. So this is literally an issue in like every form of media, art, and entertainment. Hell, I could do a whole video on right-wingers missing the point of music and getting mad when they find out what it's about. But I think I have plenty to talk about with just movies. Let's break down movie by movie.
She didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened to me. We were nothing. I don't even need your love. But you treat me like a stranger and I feel so rough. No, you didn't have to stop.
So American Psycho is a movie starring Christian Bale. It's considered horror, but I think it's more of like psychological. It's a good movie. I really like that movie. You know, I see Patrick Bateman as the flawed character that he is. I wrote a whole essay on this for a psychology class, and she wanted me to break down his mental disorders, but I went into how the whole thing is like a diagnosis of the yuppie culture in the 80s. It's criticizing consumerism, businessmen, and how you kind of have to be a psycho to succeed in this yuppie business world.
Get a goddamn job, Al.
A yuppie was like a style, but also a culture of young men followed in the 80s. These were businessmen. There was a certain dress style, attitude. It was a very glamorized thing to be a young, rich, successful man.
Valentino Couture.
They're preppy, and I think it's all like bogus, but like that's not the point. So I think a lot of people recognize that Patrick Bateman is a flawed character, though I still think there's some who see him and they're like, yo, he's awesome, like he's so cool, he hates women, he just like me, he doesn't give a fuck about women.
You say, dumb bitch.
Well, actually, that's none of your business, Christy.
You're not terribly important to me.
He's a businessman, he's successful, he just like me. That's obviously been turned into like a Twitter joke. Like American Psycho has been memed to shit on like Twitter or whatever. You know, as it should. It has a lot of funny moments and a lot of really clever moments just because it is such a good movie and has a lot of really talented actors in it. It has Willem Dafoe, Reese Witherspoon, Christian Bale, a lot of people that I really like. It really irks me when people miss the point of this movie, more so The Wolf of Wall Street, but we'll get into that. Now, a lot of this movie takes place at fancy restaurants. It's a lot of just for show. A lot of the things they do are for show. None of it is real. It's all like a persona. That's why the whole psycho thing comes in, because someone who deals with psychopathy, I don't know how to say it, often has a hard time relating to other people.
I want to fit in.
Here, let me read the official diagnosis. It's a neuropsychiatric disorder marked by deficient emotional responses, lack of empathy, and poor behavioral controls. And so that mentality is explored as a benefit in, a hyper-capitalist, business-oriented lifestyle, where often these people will mask in terms of like being out in public and seeming normal. None of it's all like a facade. Even like him having his partner, his fiance, I forget if he proposes or not. Even that is kind of just for show to make him look normal. He's trying to fit in and make his way of life look normal. And he often becomes obsessive over little things. Like there's the whole, I think this should have been the biggest giveaway for people relating to the scene. There was that one scene where he's obsessing over the business cards.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Patten's card to mine.
And the thing he's doing is obsessing over the color of white they use. The cards basically all look the same, that's the whole point. But he's obsessing over the fonts and the color white they use. And it's particularly obsessive because he's trying to seem better than everyone else, but for some reason he's obsessed with the fact that his coworkers have a better color white or font than him. Also, the giveaway is that, it's not confirmed if he's, fantasizing or if he actually killed people, but, he has thoughts about killing people, at least. If not, he actually did. He also engages in violent sex acts with women. He treats them horribly. A lot of the men in these movies do. But I think the main takeaway from people idolizing Patrick Bateman is that, this was something so clear and so obvious that this guy was a bad dude, yet people still looked at him and was like, he's just like me, he's such a Sigma.
Hip to be square.
Though I think a lot of it is satire, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that most of the misunderstanding for this one is satire, but I think some of it is genuine, or has been in the past. This movie is a critique on individuality and facade and yuppie culture and, how you have to be psycho to participate in, business and be on top in, a capitalist consumerist society. That's it. They don't want to hear that. They're like, oh, he's just like me.
All right. You fucking cocksucker.
I have a guest now, so she's gonna shut the fuck up like a good woman. So I'm gonna talk about the TV show The Boys. I know I said that this was going to be about movies, but I think this one fits in perfectly with everything else. Homelander is the character I want to focus on. He is the main antagonist in The Boys. I'm a big fan of this show. It has a lot of references to current politics, pop culture. They make commentary through their own characters on current events like police brutality, racism, neo-Nazis, corrupt politicians, the military-industrial complex, and even the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial that ended racism. I also like it for the huge amounts of superhero cum and the insane ways of killing people. But that is a conversation for another time. If you haven't seen the show, he's basically a spin-off of Superman. A lot of the characters are spin-offs of different famous superheroes, but he is specifically, it's kind of not a one-to-one comparison, but he has the same powers as Superman, but his persona is adjusted as a satirical characterization of, a more evil, sinister type of superhero. His aesthetic is more of a facade. He puts himself out as this patriotic American hero,
Smile, look pretty, say my lines. Whoop, 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 whoop.
you know, very like centered in American culture. They even do stuff with like religious groups. I don't know why they say they're like people from God. I don't know. It's like manipulative right-wing stuff. It's definitely making fun of prominent right-wing figures such as like, I mean, the most obvious one is Donald Trump. The Boys in general explores what superheroes would be like if they were capitalized upon. This whole corporation called Vought created them, you've come to learn, sorry, spoiler, but also capitalizes upon their existence. Well, they make movies, they make things to buy, they do ads, just public appearance. They just are a huge public image. Or even trying to integrate them into the military. So they're trying to establish superheroes as this centerpiece of a capitalist, democratic, I don't know. They're trying to establish them within both like the economic realm of the world and the political realm of the world. There is a CEO and other executives at Vought, but oftentimes Homelander is the centerpiece. He's like the top dog there. And this is kind of because it's really hard to defeat him. He's just impossible to deceive, impossible to beat in terms of strength. He's super powerful and very manipulative. A lot of people suck up to him in really strange ways. I mean, he also sucks up. The whole milk thing is weird. I think that's like his show of submission. After all of his dominance, I don't know, it's really weird. But I think that is one of the reasons that men have latched onto him like how you latch onto a titty. Each season, Homelander does extremely heartless things. They are all completely his fault. Even if other people are involved, he is usually the one making the call. And he has created a lot of trauma within people because they've wanted to help, but he manipulates them into not helping or just doing terrible shit because he will destroy them or kill them if they don't. This includes letting a whole ton of people die in an airplane crash that he could have stopped. It was his fault that these people were doomed. He fucked up like the controls and then just let them die instead of flying each of them down to the ground, which he could have done. He's killed many people. He does lots of killing, including people he loves. But if he feels they're getting in his way, he will kill them. He manipulates his son, who only exists because he raped a woman, and he kind of uses his son as, you know, a PR thing. I don't know, it's kind of weird. He only really gives attention to his son when it makes him look good or his son is of use of him. He also has a love story with a literal Nazi, like a whole Nazi. I'm not kidding. She literally was a Nazi in Nazi times and still is a Nazi when this show takes place. You know, for some reason, people have seen this character and have been like, that's my guy. It's probably because he's conventionally attractive, he's successful, no one can talk him down, he's unbeatable, and he's very manipulative to the women he's with or around or just using, which is definitely all a part of this Sigma attitude. It's kind of a centerpiece. Even though he does have his more submissive moments, which is the milk. They latch onto these things because he is the Sigma male. He is from what I've seen of people talking about the Sigma male philosophy, he is everything they'd want to be. He also has some insanely funny one-liners.
I am better!
Almost all of the lines he says are hilarious or just like hard as fuck. Marvel could never. I find him very entertaining and intriguing, but it's insane that people can watch this when he's clearly set up to be the bad guy and like the worst person. It's just like they set it all up perfectly, and yet they still miss it. They're still like, yeah, this is my guy. He's just like me. I want to be just like him. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Though this one isn't the worst, I think that this is still pretty bad because this is a pretty clearly evil character. Okay, next, I'm talking about Joker, the 2019 Joker, which stirred a lot of shit, and despite all of the shit, this is a movie that I actually really enjoyed and that I like. When this movie first dropped, before it even came out, there was a lot of concern that this would feed incel culture, which, you know, if you've made it to 2023, you know that has not gotten better. Is this what happened when the movie released? Yes. But I don't think it was exactly the movie's fault. I think no matter what, these people were going to find something to spin in the wrong way to justify self-hatred and self-pity and being sexless. So if you watch the movie for what it is, and, you know, you put on your smart people glasses, you're watching an extremely flawed character. Now, a lot of things that we watch have flawed characters, if not all of the things we watch. You know, if all of the things we watch consumed were just perfect and aligned completely with our leftist values, nothing would be fun. It would all suck. I have the Batman behind me. Does that align with my leftist values? No. Is it fun? Hell yeah. But a lot of this is a commentary on class struggle, particularly in the time that it takes place. I think it's around like the 50s. They got a TV. Say what you will about the movie, but I think it was really genius to make something as thought-provoking and kind of a psychological exploration through a character that everyone is familiar with. Also, just Joaquin Phoenix did an incredible job with his performance as Joker. Obviously, that didn't go unnoticed, but I think it's really cool that, you know, everyone knows the Joker, so just by it having that title made people want to see it, but it's a movie that makes you think a little. It's disturbing. It's a very disturbing movie. The main issue with the misinterpretations, and probably the most famous thing that's come from this movie, is the quotes. There are literally whole accounts, especially I think on Instagram. They're probably on Reddit too. I don't know. I don't go on Reddit, but I can imagine they're pretty funny on Reddit. But a lot of them are just like them posting Joker quotes from the movie, which are probably just emo, depressing, or just like dark, and being like, oh my god, he's so real for this. This one is more sad to me, and I sympathize with this misinterpretation more because a lot of people who relate to Joker in this movie are men who are poor, lonely.
You were the only one that was ever nice to me.
Awkward, probably neurodivergent in some way, and they just generally feel like they've been screwed over by society, you know. That's the whole thing, society. I can sympathize with all of those things, for sure, and I have experienced a lot of those things, but I don't resort to hurting people as a consequence. So that seems to be where the issue is. It's very important to go into observing characters like this as kind of learning an explanation for their behavior rather than a justification for their behavior. So he struggles with poverty, and that leads to his mental health getting worse because he can't get treatment anymore. Therefore, that leads to the course that he goes on where he has public outbursts, he stalks people, he murders, he has delusions, he imagines a whole relationship with this neighbor he has. Is this a justification? Is his mental health a justification for all of these things? No. We are not supposed to relate to this man. Is this an explanation for why he did the things he did? Yes. I think we can sympathize with that part of it, but you don't have to like him for sympathizing with that. And I think that is a disconnect that has led to a lot of really funny but also very sad accounts dedicated to Joker. Okay, this one is not the worst, but is the most fucking annoying. I'm gonna get very mad. The Wolf of Wall Street is a movie, again, that I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the other ones that I've talked about. I think I like American Psycho and Joker a bit more, but that doesn't matter. It's a movie that stars Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, icon star. Say what you will about him. I'm exiting his age range. I'm 20. But he plays Jordan Belfort, who is a real person, which is important. I want you to remember that. He is a real person who was a criminal and went to jail for doing bad shit.
I can only imagine what a douchebag that guy must be.
So this movie showcases him and the lifestyle he, becomes a part of, that these stock market guys get into, drugs, bitches, all that stuff. I personally don't find this desirable, but some people probably watch this movie and were like, wow, that's glamorous. So I think that's where this one is the hardest, because the most people will look at his life and they're like, ooh, they're like fascinated by it.
In the United States of fucking America.
Seeing like what happens to him, I don't think I want to be this person, but so he made tens of millions. I don't even know how much he made. It was probably way more than that by leading an illegal stock trade. I don't know the exact terms or how they work, but I feel like people who are into economics probably shouldn't like this guy. Like, if you're into stocks and capitalism and you truly vouch for it to be the best system, wouldn't you want people to not take advantage of it and not go about it illegally? I don't know. It just blows my mind that people defend this guy for going about things illegally. Believe in capitalism, sure, but believe in capitalism and support this guy, just doesn't make sense to me. Not to mention he is intense domestic abuser. Though he is a drug addict, that does play a part in it, but he beats his wife bad. It's terrible. He is a cheater, and he's just overall rude. If I met him just like going about my day, I would fucking hate this man. I would think he's so annoying. But all of these, things make him a perfect candidate for this Sigma mentality.
Daddy's really sorry about what he said in the other room. He didn't mean any of it.
There's definitely a theme here. These Sigma people hate women, abuse them, abuse other people, lie, hurt people. The list goes on, but that seems to be the theme. So this one annoys me the most, because this is the one with, I would say this is the shittiest main character. It's also the one that most people leave the movie not thinking that he's a shitty character, which severely pisses me off, because I don't know how people watch that movie thinking that this guy is a cool, chill dude, and I want to be just like him.
Fucking worthless loser!
It's definitely a very similar concept to American Psycho, where it takes place in this New York yuppie culture, like they're doing their economic shit. I don't know what they're doing, but it's the same type of thing. I think Wolf of Wall Street takes place like the decade after, maybe not even, but it's a very similar culture to that, except Jordan Belfort is real. Patrick Bateman is made up. He is a satirical character made to make fun of this culture. Jordan Belfort is the real Patrick Bateman. No, I don't think it's that extreme, but it's definitely comparable. He has a lot of like actual fans. He literally has a TikTok. This man has a TikTok. And I got a ton of hate comments just from duetting one of his videos and being like, are you fucking serious? Because he started doing like inspirational praise content where he's doing the whole pick yourself up by your bootstraps thing. Like you gotta work hard for your money, work hard for what you get. Do we not remember what happened when he picked himself up by his bootstraps? That led him to go to jail. I don't think this movie was meant to be a complete slam piece. It was a biopic type of thing. It was like just a telling of events. But I'm personally choosing to take it as such because there's no way that I was leaving that movie thinking that man was a good person.
The other guys looked at me like I just discovered fire.
Like, this man is so laughably terrible that I believe if Karl Marx was a satirical political cartoonist, this is what he would create. Jordan Belfort. That is the cartoon Karl Marx warning man. It's just like, this blows my mind that I've had so many conversations with people talking about Wolf of Wall Street, and they're like, and I'm like, I can't believe people leave that movie thinking he's cool, and then they go, but he is cool, and I'm like, blocked.
Go get a job at fucking McDonald's.
So stop praising this man. He's not even cute. He's ugly, and he's annoying.
Sin City was a mafia.
How did you do that?
Do what?
Our last one. This is the most criminal of them all. The misunderstanding that this movie has received is criminal. I've only seen this movie once, but the amount of reinforcement I've done in terms of reading back on the plot is insane, because the misinterpretations on this movie have led me to feel so passionately about being like, fuck you, no, this is what it means, for real. I'm talking about The Matrix. I think most people who make metaphors or have come up with their own interpretations for The Matrix have gotten even close to right. Though I do think, to be fair, it's pretty difficult to get it perfect. I think there are good interpretations you can make. It is a general type of allegory, and I think it could fall for a few things. But most of the ways I see people take it are just fucking stupid. The real allegory that has been like accepted as canon, as the directors have, stated, this movie was created by two trans sisters, the Wachowski sisters. I think when this movie first came out, they were still closeted. I think they ended up coming out, I don't know how much later, but they came out later. It's definitely an expression of their experience as trans people who are closeted. They come to terms with their place in society, and they can choose to break free, even if that means you go through all this conflict and struggle. The most famous thing to come from this movie was the red pill and the blue pill.
You take the blue pill, you take the red pill.
And the red pill, in the movie, the literal meaning of it is that the main character, Neo, takes the red pill to kind of realize the truth of the Matrix and, free his mind. Alternatively, there's the blue pill, which is what you take to remain unaware of the Matrix. It leaves you in bliss.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. You have to see it for yourself.
In terms of the trans allegory, I'm not completely sure what's been, stated or agreed upon, but the theories I've seen is that it's either, the red pill's about coming to terms with your trans identity, or it's literally a one-to-one with, like, hormones, like estrogen, which would be I think that's pretty awesome if it is. Both definitely fit, though, no matter how you look at it. I think it could be both. I don't know. Therefore the red pill in the allegory to the movie is accepting your trans identity and breaking free of what's expected of you in this matrix society. This is where the problem begins. Right-wingers have taken this analogy to such extremes. Not even that, not the trans analogy. They have made their own thing. They made something completely up. So this has become I think red pill content is like a genre in itself, but it's mostly people who are right wing, the manosphere type of content, the sigma male, misogynist, like high value male, that type of stuff. That is the red pill. So that's been, co-opted by radical figures, Andrew Tate, the most noticeable, Nick Fuentes, a literal Nazi, neo-Nazi, sorry, and probably Sneeko, but I don't know. I don't really know anything about Sneeko, just what I've seen from videos. But I'm assuming he probably uses the phrase red pill. I know for a fact that the Wachowski sisters have become extremely frustrated by these people because they have taken their perfectly crafted ideology, metaphor, allegory. It's just an expression of how they felt, the internal struggle they felt as trans people, and it's been turned into something that people use to justify being like bigots, which harms people, and it's fucked up. But it's completely not their fault. I don't think that they should feel like guilty at all. It's not their fault that people took it this way. As I've explained, they're gonna find something to misinterpret. This list could go on forever. They just happen to be victims of people taking something. This is literally like gentrification of trans business. Like, it's fucked up, and they definitely deserve a massive apology. Like, I don't even know how they like go about their day, because I would just be fuming, like steam coming out of my ears, my head, all the fucking time. But these people have gotten so deranged with the allegory that some of them actually believe that they're in the Matrix. Like, some of them genuinely believe that they are in the Matrix. That has been Andrew Tate's big thing recently, where, anytime he's held accountable or he gets fucking owned, he's like, oh, it's the Matrix. So that's started to be a thing. They've been using that as a defense, which is really funny, because what better way to admit that you're guilty than to just blame something on the Matrix? I just think that's really funny. But it's also really sad, because people take that and they're like, oh, so true. Like, people genuinely believe that. Oh, Greta Thunberg ratioed me? It's the bots from the Matrix. They're not real. And then, like, get arrested for sex trafficking, allegedly. Also the Matrix. They made it up. Yeah, it was the Matrix. They're attacking me. They're coming for me as a high-value male who's speaking the truth. I think the Wachowski sisters are deserved a massive apology. I haven't taken part in this, but I'm sorry. I just think even if you don't get the point of the movie, I don't understand how they've taken it that far. Even Keanu Reeves didn't originally know that the meaning of the Matrix was, a trans allegory. He was probably just like, oh, it's like a cool like sci-fi concept, like. But his reaction to learning that it was a trans allegory, I think he learned in an interview, and he just went like, oh, cool, and moved on with his day. Like, I think we need more people who are just like, who just mind their business. Even my dad, he's an enjoyer of the Matrix, because he's like, it's cool, it has actors that I like and good action. Even if you don't want to get all metaphorical, you can be normal. You don't have to turn it into something that it's not. You can just enjoy something for being fun, having a cool concept, and good action. So, moral of the story. I am sick of things that I enjoy being misinterpreted and taken to mean things or to justify terrible behavior, because it is fucking annoying, and these right-wingers are annoying. And also, I think obviously a lot of this has to do with media literacy. Obviously these people are completely missing the point, but second of all, I think we're at a point where we're struggling to have things with characters and have people understand that people are flawed.
It's already too late.
In the movies we want, these aren't just idols on our screen. These are characters that were designed and created to learn from them, their mistakes, to see like what struggles they go through. You're not supposed to find every character in every movie perfect. You know, I don't think I've watched any movie where there's a perfect character that has zero flaws.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect.
Or zero issues. That's just not real life. No media would be exciting if we didn't watch flawed characters. We can criticize them, sure, but don't expect everything you watch to have characters and be people that you love, because that's the whole fun of watching something. Is it's a whole universe with a whole set of people with their unique issues and problems, and often you can pull things from them that, you know, you can learn from in your own life, or just enjoy things. You can enjoy something without, you know, needing to idolize someone or completely liking a character. It's just completely, that's just how media works. But it seems that, you know, the right wing sees these flaws and they're like, oh, they're good. And the left wing sees these flaws and they're like, I can't watch this. It doesn't align with my leftist values. And I just think more people need to be able to watch TV shows and movies and learn from the flaws that these characters have. Just like have fun with, just please have fun. Please just like enjoy things. Just learn to enjoy things without just being deranged. It's making me lose my damn mind because I feel like I can't enjoy anything without people thinking I'm a right winger or saying, oh, but he's a cop. These people are not real. I don't idolize them. I don't want to be like them. I don't think they're good. I'm just trying to watch a movie. Be normal.
Hi, I'm Ben Shapiro, and I'm asking you to subscribe to the Ali is Crying YouTube channel. The Ali is holding a Nerf Super Soaker to my head, threatening me, please subscribe. And she says to follow her on Twitch to watch her live. That's twitch.tv/Ali is Crying. Ali says, bye, Wall, please help me.